Hey everyone, in this video I will show you step by step how to do or how to create a very simple expense tracker or finance tracker on Notion. So it's going to be very slow and step by step, and you should not get lost. If you're a beginner, this video should be for you on how to create an expense tracker on Notion because I will go slow on it. Okay, so the first thing you will do is obviously create a new page and just title it expense, or just do finance tracker instead. And let's just customize the page a little bit, give it a little bit of a touch, just an icon and a cover image if we want. Let's just change this to something fitting, maybe a calculator. I will not touch much on actual customization and stuff. That will be like your thing at the end of the day. I will just show you how to actually create it. So we want an empty page, but let's do small text and full width first to have better space. And so the first thing after you create a new page, name it and everything, you will need to go ahead and go to the first line where you can just type slash database and just choose the full page one. And in here, we will do the income and expenses database. Here we should calculate, or not calculate, just list the income or, us gaining money and, spending them. So let's just name it income and expenses. Okay, so from here, we will click on tags here, and we will need to edit property where we'll need to add two options. So add option, we will need to add income, and let's just make it green. And we will need to add another option, which is expense. And let's make this one, let's just make it red. So next up, let's add more property elements. So you just need to click on this plus icon and add date. So we will need to add dates and also numbers. We will need to add income amount. Obviously, we will need to know how much. So income amount, let's just name it that. And we should be good to go. The only thing left for us to do is rename the table to let us know and make it income. And then we will need to obviously filter to only show the income. Again, I did that by going to filter and then we go to tags and make it income. And we go to sort as well. If you want to make the date by the descending order, you can do it like this. And this just makes things a little bit more clear for us. Now this is for the income. We will need another one for the expense, obviously. So instead of creating a new one and doing it again, we can just duplicate it and change a few things. So we can just name this one expense after we duplicate it. And from here, we also duplicate this. So we want an expense amount. So we can just do this and duplicate and rename it to be expense amount. For the expense page here, we will need to hide the income amount because we don't really want to see it in here. And same goes for the income. So for the income, we go ahead and hide the expense amount because we don't want to see it in here. One last thing is we go back to expense here, the new one, and change the filters accordingly. So we want to click on filters and make sure the tags are expense instead of income for this one. So let's just add a few examples. So for the income, let's just say got paid. And then we add the date, maybe 25th, and I got paid 1,000, let's say. So we just add a few examples, and let's do another one, prize money maybe, prize money, and it was 20, just 20. and we say we want $200. Okay. By the way, I forgot to make this actually like dollars instead of like this. We click on it and then we click edit property, and then we make sure the number format is US dollars. Okay, and now we can see, the actual currency of it. So let's add more examples. Obviously, you don't need to add examples. You actually add what you want to add for the income and expense. But here, just for the sake of the tutorial, we should just add examples to show you how it works. So for the expense, let's just say bought wireless headphones, and then date 15, and amount, let's just say $100. It's an example after all. So expense amount $100. Again, we need to make sure that this is the format is dollars to make it easier for us. Again, you just go to expense amount, edit property, and we just make sure it's US dollar under number format. So for the time being, we're done with this. So we just go back to Finance Tracker, the actual one, and we will need to create another database. And this is going to be for categories, so expense categories. So database, full page again, and just let's name it expense categories. So for here, for the categories, we don't really need tags, so we can just delete the tags. And let's just add a few examples. For categories, it's going to be like I have a tech category. So wireless headphones is going to be under here. Maybe it's food. So the category of food. Let's just do one more. Maybe housing. So stuff for the house. Okay. Oop. Housing. There you go. So in here, we will need to add a new property, and it should be named relation. So just look for relation, and it's this one right here. This is basically going to connect both tables together, basically. So we will need to link it to income and expenses, and make sure to show it on income and expenses. And then we can just click on add relation. And next, we will also need to add roll up. So again, just click on the plus sign and then roll up. And then from here, so for this is basically going to be the one that's actually calculating stuff for us. So let's just name it expense amount, and let's do the relation income in expenses property. Let's make it expense amount, and then we make the calculation for sum. Okay. And this should show us that now. And if we go back to the first one, income and expenses, and go to expenses, we should see the expense amount is 100. This is the one that we bought, but what we need to do is now to actually show it. So to do so, you will need to click on the three dots over here and click on show for the expense categories. So we don't want it to be hidden. And now we can actually see it over here. In here, you will obviously need to put the categories of your expenses. So for this example, bought wireless headphones, we click on it and make sure it's under tech. So if it should show us here, right here. Okay, so tech. And if it's food, you go ahead and add categories food, and you just select it over here. It's very simple. Now, what this does for us, if we go back again to expense categories, we should find now the expense amount 100 for the category tech is going to be I bought a wireless headphones. Now you can play around with the views here to make it a little bit easier for yourself. Maybe gallery view, where you can do here none. Let's do let's just keep it at this. And properties, let's show the expense amount. And what else? You can just play around with it, and you can see now tech, food, housing, and it shows you the expense amount here. So it's very simple now. So we have this now, and we have the income and expenses table. Now, what we'll do is basically add, if you want, let's do savings. So for savings, it's simple. Again, database or slash database full page. Let's name it savings. And let's delete the tags. We don't want them. And let's add a few examples. So just general savings and maybe saving for a new mic. It's just an example. My microphone should be good. Okay, so we will need to add a starting date, so date, and we will also need to add numbers for the amount. So where's the numbers? Here's the numbers. Format US dollars, okay? So for the date, for the general saving, I don't know, let's just make this 2022 for this example, and let's go 11, okay? And let's just give it a number, okay, 1500. And here, I just started saving yesterday, so do this. And let's just do, I just have $20. Okay, so you can just play around with this, obviously. Here you can rename it to be savings amount. And we should be good to go. The only thing left is to have it all in the home page instead of just, jam-packed all over the place. So to go back to the home page, where we can first group them into a navigation bar instead of just having them all loose like this. So we just slash toggle list, and then you just simply drag and drop all three of them inside of it. And now we can it's a drop down view basically. And we can just do slash divider if you want. Let's just do slash table view for the income and expenses. And obviously, like I said, when it comes to designing, I'm not going to talk much about how to actually design it. I will just show you how to actually do it. And pretty much we are done. I'm just going to show you how to end up having them in the home page. Again, let's do another divider. Oh, we've got here income. Let's add the other one. So we just click on plus, income and expenses, and we click on expenses. So now we've got income, expenses, and so on. Now, what you can do is also, like, for example, type above it income and expenses, and you can just end up hiding this if you want. It's pretty much, when it comes to designing, it's up to you. But again, let's do table view for the savings, and then again divider if you want. And lastly, let's do a gallery view instead of a table view for the categories, just to make things easier for us. So expense categories, add them here, and now we've got the categories in here: tech, food, housing, and that kind of stuff. So this is pretty much what I can show you today on how to actually create your expense tracker. I hope it helped, and I hope it wasn't too complicated. That's all I have for you today, so I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.